You see how the deep state is taking out anyone who opposes Biden or Kamala Harris.
MAGA right-wingers like Jesse Waters, Laura Ingraham, and others have a new conspiracy theory. Surprise, surprise. Everything on the right seems to be a conspiracy. Is there anything that isn't a conspiracy to them? But they've got a brand new one. Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian broke this down on the Young Turks. We're going to take a look at clips from the Young Turks as well as Fox News about this stupid new conspiracy. Aren't they all? I'll share my thoughts from time to time. Let's check this out together.
Do you think there's some truth that this is directly related to Adams's response to the migrant crisis?
I have no evidence, but
that doesn't stop you.
I'm going to tell you I do think so.
I mean, Greg Gutfeld is correct. Lack of evidence has never stopped Jesse Waters from making declarative statements about various stories in the news, and this one is no exception. So there's a new conservative conspiracy theory about why New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on corruption and wire fraud charges. And we had outlined the details of why, what he's been accused of, including taking money from Turkish businessmen, allegedly. Now, we'll go back to all those details in just a moment. But before we do, let's hear more from other conservatives who have been floating this conspiracy. Let's watch.
Is he actually a criminal, or is it because he spoke out a little bit too much against the regime?
He's saying, you're going after me because I criticize the government, because I said, you have cost me $5.5 billion of illegal immigrant care, and you've done nothing. He said it's baffling that the federal government doesn't want to help. He meets with Biden, he walks out and says, I have news for you, help is not on the way. And that's the beginning of the investigation. Are they linked?
When I heard Mayor Adams question the Democratic Party and their policies on immigration, and heard AOC disagree with him, we all knew he was in trouble. Because if you don't fall in line with the Democrats, the big dog Democrats, then it appears, will find a reason to ruin your life.
With this new weaponization of the Justice Department, and this is the Joe Biden Justice Department, I don't know, but I have a bad feeling about this.
Adams may be guilty, may not be guilty. That's up for a jury to decide. But the fact that so many are questioning the government's motives here is itself an indictment of the Biden-Harris administration.
The DOJ has also indicted other Democrats who did not criticize the Biden administration over its immigration policies. Bob Menendez, a senator, is a good example. Congressman Henry Cuellar, another Democrat, was investigated for allegedly taking illegal campaign contributions from businessmen in Azerbaijan. I mean, this is a ridiculous allegation that was, I'm sure you're going to be shocked to find out, repeated by Donald Trump.
I will say this. I watched about a year ago when he talked about how the illegal migrants are hurting our city and the federal government should pay us and we shouldn't have to take them. And I said, you know what? He'll be indicted within a year. And I was exactly right, because that's what we have. We have people that use the Justice Department and the FBI at levels that have never been seen before.
Now, look, Cenk, I don't think the Republican Party has like a soft spot for Democratic New York City Mayor Eric Adams, unless this really is the start of the trash revolution. But I am wondering, like, why do you think they're floating this crazy conspiracy theory in defense of Eric Adams?
I think that's obvious. So they're trying to prime their audience for, oh my God, the deep state is targeting Donald Trump and anyone who opposes Biden. And they're the ones against democracy. You see how the deep state is taking out anyone who opposes Biden or Kamala Harris. But he's a Democrat. Why would they take out their own Democrat? Why would they take out Menendez, who's been a loyal corporate Democrat for decades? Why would they take out Cuellar? Cuellar is like corporate Democrat 101, right? So it makes no sense. And I love how they say they don't need evidence. I have another example of that from the Charlie Kirk show that I want to show you a little bit later. But my favorite was Laura Ingraham, who you saw as the last clip in that montage we did. And I'm going to re-quote it for you though. The fact that so many are questioning the government's motives, you guys are questioning the government's motives. She says, here is itself an indictment of the Biden-Harris administration. So the fact that all of us are lying about them is an indictment that they must be doing it. No, No, it's an indictment of you for constantly lying about them. It's not an indictment of them. So no, Eric Adams, and by the way, did Eric Adams do some like broad attack against Joe Biden? Was he, pretty critical of him as Nina Turner was? Even then, I thought it was relatively mild. No, he just, on this one issue of immigration, he tweaked them. That was not a thing that you launch a fake criminal investigation over. It's so, besides, they're not doing fake criminal investigations. Donald Trump is actually guilty, and Eric Adams and Cuellar also appear to be, based on the allegations, to be very guilty. Menendez is convicted, and remember, all the rest of them are Democrats.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with what Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian are saying here. I think they're right about all of this. I would add, seemingly no one on the right has ever heard of Occam's razor. They're never going to go with the most logical conclusion on anything. Maybe this guy is just corrupt and did criminal things, and that's it. But everything for the right and for MAGA, it seems, has to be a conspiracy. They don't seem to be happy unless there's some conspiracy about every single thing in the country. Every story is a conspiracy instead of just looking at what is logical. And you would think that Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters and Charlie Kirk and these other MAGA figures, that the governor, or the mayor rather, of the largest city in the country being indicted would be a gift to them, where they could just say, look at how corrupt the Democrats are. Instead, it's the Biden administration is out to get Eric Adams. I mean, it's just nuts, but apparently their whole audience is nuts and just nothing but conspiracy theories. I mean, all you have to do is look online, any social media platform, and see comments from right-wingers, and it's nothing but conspiracy.
Exactly. And by the way, there is one other Democratic politician who criticized the Biden administration over its handling of the border, and that was Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker. Pritzker was also critical, but that's weird.
And he's one of the rising, Pritzker is one of the rising stars in the Democratic Party right now. So that's a really excellent point from Anna Kasparian.
No DOJ indictment against Pritzker. Look, obviously it's not politically motivated. And I commend the DOJ under the Democratic President Joe Biden for going after people who are accused of actually doing something wrong. In this case, you have Eric Adams, again, allegedly taking illegal bribes from foreign businessmen. And I'm going to detail some of those allegations in just a moment, complete with some of the evidence that's been compiled by the DOJ. But go ahead, Jake.
And a hilarious clip at the end again about how they're making it up. But you just made me remember, there's another guy that the DOJ under Biden went after, Hunter Biden.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Were they also targeting Hunter? Because the deep state is targeting Hunter Biden for criticizing Joe Biden? It doesn't have to make sense. It's a Republican conspiracy theory. And it doesn't matter if it's wildly untrue. Every Republican voter will believe it for the rest of their lives.
So the indictment for Eric Adams states that Adams was accepting bribes from wealthy Turkish nationals for years, including but not limited to plane tickets and other luxurious travel accommodations. By the way, the DOJ says that this dates back to 2018. Because of that perk, by the way, Adams went out of his way to fly on Turkish Air. Adams, the indictment alleges, flew the Turkish airline even when doing so was otherwise inconvenient. For example, during a July and August 2017 trip, Adams' partner was surprised to learn that Adams was in Turkey when she had understood him to be flying from New York to France. Adams responded in a text message, transferring here. First stop is always Istanbul.
I don't know if he misspelled Istanbul or he meant in Istanbul.
Yeah.
But if you don't know that particular geography, I'm just talking to Americans here because we barely ever get taught geography. Turkey is on the other side of France.
Yeah.
You'd have to fly backwards to Turkey and then to New York.
It's massively out of the way.
So I guess for these MAGA right-wingers like Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters and Charlie Kirk, the idea that they would go after somebody just for being corrupt is crazy to them, because that's just a Tuesday in MAGA world. Oh, of course. I mean, everybody's corrupt. Why would they go after them for corruption and committing crimes. There has to be a conspiracy behind it. And like Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian said, all the MAGA base and the Republicans will believe this forever, that it was a conspiracy by the Biden administration rather than Eric Adams seemingly, allegedly being a crook. But everything is a conspiracy in MAGA world. But what do you think about this? Do you agree with Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur on this? Or do you think Laura Ingraham and Charlie Kirk and Jesse Waters and these other MAGA figures are correct that it had to be a conspiracy? That's the logical answer rather than a mayor just taking money and being corrupt. Make sure to leave me comments about this or anything else that you like to comment on. I love to read your comments. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm growing really quickly with this channel, closing in on probably 25,000 subscribers when I was just at 10,000 days ago. And that's all thanks to you, your views, your likes, your comments, your subscribes. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That'll allow me to bring out more content like this. This is Chris on Culture. I'll see you in the next one.